It's week 1 of the 2023 Blue Collar Football League season. There are 8 new teams in the BCFL this year, so to start things off, we'll get a look at 2 of the newcomers in the Western Conference, the Indy Bison Red and the Kentucky Spartans, in a game hosted by the Bison Red at Mount Vernon High School in Fortville, Indiana. The Spartans were slated to get the ball first, but they couldn't handle a short kick by Hector Gallardo. Instead, Nicholas Peacock was there to recover it and give the Bison Red the ball at the 50-yard line. Indy picked up 1 first down, but on 4th and 12, Dominic Rogers looked to Stephen Brown, the pass fell incomplete, and the Spartans took over on down. The Spartans had the punt, and the Bison Red turned to the ground to get things going. First, it was Andre Wells along the right side for 7 yards. Later, it was Elijah Smith who broke a tackle, reversed course, got a block from his quarterback, and picked up 7 more yards. Then they turned to the air. Rogers connects with Brown this time on a short pass that turns into a 15-yard pickup. And later, it was Rogers to Brown again, this time 12 yards down to the 7-yard line. The drive extended into the second quarter, where on the first play, Smith pushed his way in from 3 yards out for a touchdown, capping a 12-play, 69-yard drive that took 8 minutes and 31 seconds and put the Bison Red up 6-0. The Spartans had -1 yard of offense at this point in the game, but on 3rd and 14, Justin Klein rolled out to his right. He threw up a pass, and Lance Newman brought it down for a 26-yard gain. Kentucky tried it again on the next play. This time, Klein rolled out to his left. He threw, and it did not work out so well as Julius Jackson was there to intercept the pass. Kentucky forced a punt, but on their next play from scrimmage, Klein threw one up, and this time Romeo Perry Sr. was there to intercept it, giving the Bison Red the ball on their own 33-yard line. 2 plays later, Brown was at quarterback, and he went deep, connecting with Maurice Jones for a 64-yard touchdown, and after a scoreless first quarter, the Bison Red were up 14-0 less than 5 minutes into the second quarter. Later, the Spartans turned the ball over for a 3rd time in the second quarter when they couldn't handle the handoff. Instead, David McClung fell on it to give the Bison Red the ball at the Spartans' 37-yard line. And again, it took just 2 plays for Indy to take advantage. Wells burst through the left side and was in for a 33-yard touchdown, making it 22-0 with 2:53 left in the half. On 4th and 13, just after the 2-minute warning, the Spartans elected not to punt. Instead, Amonte Owsley kept it and ran for 14 yards and a first down. Owsley stayed in at quarterback. He scrambled around before lofting a pass to Zachary Shaw for 11 yards down to the Bison Red 26-yard line. But with time running out, Owsley was finally tracked down by Diavanal Tomasello, and time ran out on the half, with the Bison Red still leading 22-0. The Spartans were able to keep their momentum going into the second half, and after a defensive stop, Klein found Malik Chambers for a short pass. He took it 23 yards into Indy territory. But 2 plays later, Tyron Porter was stood up by Jimmy Starks. The ball came out, and Nate Campbell was there to recover for the Bison Red. Indy took advantage of the turnover. Rogers somehow got this pass off. This time it was Brown hauling in a 46-yard touchdown that put the Bison Red up 28-0 with 6:41 left in the third quarter. A short kickoff and a penalty set the Spartans up in Indy territory, and Kentucky got on the board when Owsley rolled to his left before finding a wide-open Chambers for a 35-yard touchdown, making it 20-6 with just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Owsley showed off even more of his versatility on Indy's next drive. Rogers was looking deep. Instead, it was Owsley there to pick it off. He even brought it back 22 yards out to the Spartans' 40-yard line. The Spartans faced a 4th and 13 for the second time in the game, and this time it was Lance Newman who took it 14 yards, converting the first down. After another first down in the fourth quarter, Klein found Chambers, but Starks was there to once again force the fumble. This time, J.C. Cook was there to recover for the Bison Red. Rogers then stepped up and scrambled before finding a wide-open Tyree Hutchins over the middle. He's going to take this 45 yards down to the Spartans' 16-yard line. And then Curtis McDonald finished off the 6-play drive with a 5-yard touchdown run. The Bison Red were up 34-6, just under 9 minutes remaining in the game. The Kentucky defense does manage one more play. They do give up the long pass, but DeCorian Green is there to knock the ball loose, and Khalil Lindsay recovers for Kentucky. But on the final play of the game, Montrell Miller's pass is intercepted by Starks. He's going to take it in and make it 35 yards for the touchdown, making the final score Bison Red 40, Spartans 6. And as a reward, the Indy Bison Red get to do sprints after the game. Owsley, who was forced to change out of his number X jersey that he had to start the game, did a little bit of everything for the Spartans. He completed a pair of passes for 46 yards and a touchdown. He ran once for 14 yards. On defense, he had 3 tackles and an interception that he brought back 22 yards, and he also handled all kickoffs for Kentucky. Klein was 7 of 14 at quarterback for 58 yards, while Chambers caught 3 passes for 62 yards and the touchdown. Movion Jones had 4 tackles and a sack, while DeCorian Green and Jamichael Collins both had 6 tackles for the Spartans. For the Bison Red, Brown was 3 of 4 passing for 104 yards and a touchdown, caught 4 passes for 77 yards and a touchdown, ran for 6 yards, and punted twice. Rogers was 9 of 17 passing for 150 yards and a touchdown, and he ran for 15 yards. Wells was the leading rusher with 3 carries for 43 yards and a touchdown. Maurice Jones caught 3 passes for 73 yards and a touchdown. Jimmy Starks led the defense with 7 tackles. He also had 2 forced fumbles and an interception that he brought back for a touchdown. The Spartans turned the ball over on the first and last plays of the game, finishing with 7 turnovers to just 2 by the Bison Red. The Bison Red also recorded 5 sacks in the game. In Cincinnati, the Dukes hosted another newcomer, the Lexington Bengals, and quarterback Kamani Murray greeted the Bengals by finding Justin Cornwall over the middle for a 48-yard touchdown in the first quarter. In the second quarter, Cornwall took a short pass and he worked his way through the defense for a 39-yard touchdown. Then Murray turned to Darion Brown. He hauled in a long pass and spun his way in for a 44-yard touchdown. And in the fourth quarter, it was Murray to Cornwall for a third time as the Dukes prevailed 26-0. Looking at all the results from the opening weekend of the season, in addition to the wins by the Bison Red and the Dukes, the Columbus Gladiators picked up a 28-7 win against the Dayton Seminoles. The Indiana Tornadoes scored on the final play of the first half on their way to a 28-6 win in a rivalry match against the Bobcats, and the Wolfpack were awarded a win against the Brethren Knights. Checking out the standings in the Western Conference, The Bison Red and the Tornadoes start 1-0. The Cavalry were off this week, while the Bobcats, Bengals, and Spartans all are off to an 0-1 start. And the Eastern Conference, it's the Dukes, Gladiators, and Wolfpack who start out 1-0, while the Seminoles and Bredder Knights are 0-1. The league will take a week off for the Memorial Day holiday, so that sets up these matchups for June 3rd. The Bison Red will be at the Tornadoes in a game featuring the two 1-0 teams in the Western Conference. A couple of 0-1 teams will face off when the Bobcats travel to face the Kentucky Spartans. Two 1-0 teams in the Eastern Conference will square off when the Wolfpack play the Dukes. Meanwhile, two Columbus teams play each other when the Bredder Knights face the Gladiators. The Cavalry get to play their first game, traveling to play the Bengals, while the Seminoles will be off. And finally, looking at the owners' poll, there were not a lot of changes from the preseason poll. The Gladiators and Dukes remained 1 and 2. The Bison Red and Tornadoes did swap positions ahead of their matchup on the 3rd. The Cavalry moved up a spot without having to play a game, while the Wolfpack made the biggest jump from 10 to 6. The Spartans' loss dropped them 2 spots to 7, while the Bobcats and Seminoles remained at 8 and 9. The Bengals moved up a spot despite losing, while the Bredder Knights had the biggest fall from 7 to 11.